Rollins off the top rope, runs into a right hand. That's what we...
In a jaw-dropping moment that shook the WWE Universe, Triple H stunned the world by announcing the return of Jon Moxley, formerly Dean Ambrose, for one night only at SummerSlam. As the lights dimmed and the crowd roared in disbelief, Triple H confirmed a historic Shield reunion with Roman Reigns and Moxley set to face their former brother, Seth Rollins, in a blockbuster showdown. Years of betrayal, rivalry, and fractured brotherhood have led to this epic collision. With emotions running high and legacy on the line, SummerSlam promises to deliver one of the most emotionally charged main events in WWE history. The game's historic declaration. Triple H stood at the center of the ring beneath the thunderous echo of the crowd, dressed in a tailored dark suit that mirrored the gravity of the moment. The lights dimmed slightly, and the Titantron behind him glowed with flickering images of the past, grainy footage of the Shield's legendary dominance from years ago. Their ambushes, triple powerbombs, and iconic entrances through the crowd. The atmosphere inside the arena grew thick with tension and nostalgia. Fans leaned forward in their seats, hearts pounding with expectation. Then, in a deep and steady voice that carried the weight of WWE history, Triple H declared the unthinkable: Jon Moxley was returning. A wave of disbelief swept over the crowd before erupting into a deafening roar. Thousands of fans stood on their feet as the Titantron flashed a familiar, black-and-white montage of Moxley's chaos-driven career. The message was clear: this wasn't just a cameo. This was a mission, a reckoning, and the rebirth of a faction that had once reshaped WWE. Rebirth of a brotherhood. The Shield, once the most dominant and feared trio in WWE, had long been fractured. Roman Reigns evolved into the tribal chief, a ruthless leader who reigned over SmackDown with an iron fist. Seth Rollins, ever the architect, carved his path through flamboyant reinvention, eventually becoming the charismatic World Heavyweight Champion. And Moxley. Moxley vanished into the storm, leaving WWE behind to forge a brutal legacy elsewhere. Now, that brotherhood was being resurrected. This was not merely a reunion for nostalgia's sake. This was a war born from betrayal, legacy, and unfinished business. Roman and Moxley, two men forged in violence, were now aligning once more, not just to rekindle what once was, but to confront the man who had betrayed them both, Seth Rollins. The Shield's return would not be one of handshakes and hugs, but of grim determination. Each man carried scars, both physical and emotional. The Shield 2.0 had already emerged with Reigns at the helm, but with Moxley returning, the past was colliding with the present in explosive fashion. SummerSlam Showdown, Shield vs. Rollins. With the world watching, WWE confirmed the high-stakes main event: Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley would reunite at SummerSlam to battle Seth Rollins in a tag match that would serve as both a spiritual climax and a brutal confrontation. The match wasn't about titles. It was about legacy, brotherhood, and the ghosts of the past that still haunted the present. Set inside the grandest stadium of the summer, SummerSlam promised to be an epic battleground. The ring would serve as a symbolic crucible, where history would be rewritten and redemption sought through blood, sweat, and defiance. Moxley's return, raw power and chaos. Jon Moxley's return was not polished or ceremonial, it was violent, visceral, and raw. On the episode following Triple H's announcement, the lights cut out mid-show. Static crackled across the Titantron before a single word appeared: "Unchained." The crowd erupted. Moments later, Moxley stormed through the audience in his trademark jeans and black leather jacket, eyes burning with fury. He tore through security like a whirlwind and entered the ring with the same unfiltered rage that once made him WWE's most unpredictable force. Without speaking a word, he delivered a brutal paradigm shift to an interfering mid-carder, sending a message to Rollins: the lunatic fringe was back, and he was hunting. Fan reaction and industry impact. Social media exploded within seconds of Triple H's announcement. Hashtags like #MoxleyReturns, #Shield Reunion, and #SummerSlam Battle instantly trended worldwide. Fans across the globe reacted with everything from emotional tribute videos to frenzied speculation about what this meant for the future of WWE. Wrestling analysts called it a seismic shift, marking one of the few times WWE had successfully fused real-life departures and returns into a storyline that felt both mythic and grounded. Pundits hailed Triple H's long-term storytelling acumen, noting that years of tension and divergence were finally being paid off in a high-stakes showdown. Inside the locker room, the mood was just as intense. The return of Moxley ignited a sense of unpredictability, with younger superstars eager to see how this reunion would reshape the company's power dynamics. Legends and Hall of Famers chimed in with praise and awe, calling the Shield's rebirth a full-circle moment that few had expected but many had quietly hoped for. The road ahead. With SummerSlam approaching, the WWE Universe now finds itself holding its breath. Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley, once separated by ideology and geography, are now united by purpose. Seth Rollins, the man who shattered the Shield with a chair to the back, must now face the consequences of his legacy. This isn't just a match, it's an epic saga. Brotherhood meets betrayal. Past meets present. And the most dominant faction of a generation rises once more. Not for glory, but for vengeance.